back to our Dynasty. This is Harvard's second half of the season in our coaching career. We're getting ready to take on the first of 3 SEC opponents. This one at home at Harvard Stadium against the 9th ranked Missouri Tigers. 4-1, their loss coming in SEC play. I'm really excited to test our team. Undefeated at the moment. We've been playing, we'll just call them mid to low level teams up until this point. So this is our first big test. I'm really excited. So let's jump in. We know we've got our hands full with the SEC. And this early gameplay here is just going to show you what we're dealing with. Our first drive here, we're taking pressure. We know that we're going to have quick short passes, but you can see we punt right away, and Missouri's able to score. So we look for jet passes and crossing passes. Unfortunately, they're blowing these things up, and when we try to go deep, try to get in the outside, I'm not sure if it's the weather, I'm not sure if it's the nerves, I'm not sure what happens, but we threw it right to the defense. Pick 6, 14-0 here in the second quarter. Almost fumbled the ball. 21-0 after the punt. Right before half, though, we're going to try and make some things happen. We fumble it. Things are getting kind of sketch, but luckily, Keelan Brown's going to redeem himself here. Little hook route. Catches it, spins around. He's got the speed. 27 seconds left in the half, and we cut the 21-point deficit by a third. 7:21 going into half here. We end the half, luckily, on a good note. You know, we haven't really been getting our asses whooped like this this year. So this was kind of a punch in the mouth. You can see there's no change in score here late in the third quarter. We end up having to settle for a field goal. But the good thing is they're not scoring at will. 10-21 here. And later on in the fourth quarter, we actually have a chance. We tried to get it on 4th down and unfortunately don't get the conversion. Just a short while later, we're taking the ball back. We're driving down the field. 21-10 still. These short little crossing routes are wide open. This is our sophomore, Brandon Worthington. Decent little wide receiver. And then we're able to hit this corner out finally. After you just beat them down, these are basically like body shots. These short little crossing routes and runs, and then we're able to get this big quote unquote, because we're not winning, we'll call it a knockout punch, and we get the 2-point conversion off of that, but we're not able to get the ball back before the end of the game. They run the clock out. 18-21. There's a lot of good things that came from this game. Number one is that the turnovers were the deciding factor and the thing that hurt us the most. So I don't know. I mean, we never want to turn the ball over, but we got a little desperate. So if we didn't make a mistake there, this game might have been an entirely different story. But we end up losing there 21-18 as we head into game number 7, which is FCS team. We should be just fine there. You can see right here, we've got a running back and a right end committed. FCS game. We're expecting a big rebound here. 3rd down, opening drive. We're hitting our senior running back out on a screen pass, and you can see the screen pass here. We tried to go back to it on another 3rd down, but they kind of blew it up. Luckily, our junior quarterback Bowers, he's got a little bit of speed. We're able to escape out of that, get the 1st down, keep the drive going, and our senior running back, big old bulldozer. He's able to find some room up the middle, keep that drive alive. We hit Keelan Brown, who had a big game against Missouri. Keep him going. This is kind of a crazy play right here, as we had a guy open in the back of the end zone, and even though we threw a touch pass, our quarterback dumps it directly to the defender, puts no touch on it. We can't throw it over the defender. We throw it right to him. So that really bums us out, man. Bowers. Even in the red zone, we weren't able to capitalize, and the FCS team was 7-0, but we returned to the red zone relatively quickly. Driving down there, you can see right here we had a guy open at the last second, tried to throw it, but the pressure, man. Have to settle for a field goal. 7-3 against an FCS team is not what we were expecting at this point in the game. We're right before halftime here, but luckily we can roll out. Almost underthrow Douglas Saxon, our senior wide receiver. He makes a great play. Wide open, uncontested, and that's going to put us up 10-7 right before the half here. Like I said, we had about 90 seconds left. You can see, man, our quarterback, he has me questioning things every now and then. For whatever reason, you know how NCAA is. About 30 seconds later, we have the ball back, and we are able to capitalize on that. Hitting Douglas Saxon again. This time, instead of the out, we throw him across the middle. Hit him in stride. A lot better throw this time by our quarterback, Bowers. Hits him. Boom. And I don't know where the safeties went, but we made that magic happen. 2 seconds left in the half. Nobody wasted any timeouts. We have the ball back. We immediately kick the field goal. 20-7 heading into halftime, and we're just going to keep rolling on that. Our guy Javon Lake, senior running back, takes it off tackle, putting us up 27-7. And Harvard is rolling. We are bouncing back. And correction on that score, we actually didn't hit that 2-point conversion. We didn't kick the extra point. Missed that, so 26-7. But it doesn't matter. We're going to keep rolling. 230 yards, 2 touchdowns at this point. Of course, that big blemish with that interception thrown right to our guy. We get our young guys involved. This is Cooks. We get him on the jet sweep pass around the edge, and pretty simple. Decently fast. We got our backups in at this point. This is our guy, Jacob Farrell. He's a sophomore. He actually got a red shirt on, so we're kind of limiting. You can play 4 games as a red shirt to keep your red shirt status. This was an opportunity for him to get some valuable playing time without a whole lot of adversity, and here he hits our sophomore, Brandon Worthington, across the middle. He does the rest. Just outruns everybody. Gets that touchdown. 3 minutes here left in the fourth quarter. It's 40-7. We thought we had a beautiful pass to Cooks. Unfortunately, we weren't able to hook up. Here on 4th down, though, I have to say, for this guy, 6'6", not very fast. He's a field general quarterback. He scrambles. He hits our guy in stride, and that's going to set up a touchdown run by our junior. And I love the commentary. Breaking news. They score yet again. They knew we were going to do it. So beautiful, beautiful play right there. 46-7. We're hitting our tight end, and boom, this guy's a bulldozer. I love this animation right here. We're getting the fullback involved. Even though we've got mass subs in, our fullback, he stays in the game because he doesn't play a whole lot. 46-7 is going to be a great way to rebound after a tough loss to the SEC Missouri team. 5 catches, 113 yards, 2 scores for Saxon. That's our senior wide receiver. Just to build the lore around him. 6'4", man. He's really like one of our favorite targets. He can outrun a decent amount of people, but he's also pretty amazing climbing the ladder and making spectacular catches. Our second of 3 SEC opponents is going to be Mississippi State. And we have a lot of high hopes for this because they've lost a couple games. We did okay against Missouri. You can hear already the cowbells ringing. And if you've ever watched or been to a Mississippi State game, these things are rattling the entire time. The entire effing time. And early on in the game, some of these early clips I'm just going to show you, you can hear them. Cowbells rattling. We got the touch pass just like we did Missouri, and unfortunately not having a whole lot of luck. You can hear those cowbells going. 7-0 here late in the first quarter, and just like we did with Missouri, not sure if it's the feels, not sure like the pressure, the weather. You know, Bowers is supposed to be our guy, and he just underthrows this out. If we could have let him, it would have been a whole different story. But the defender very easily steps in front of this, takes a pick. 14-0 here through the half into the third quarter, and on fourth down here. We unfortunately went for it to try and make it a game, but we get sacked on the rollout. And them damn cowbells, man. Bowers is saying the whole time, I can't hear over these damn cowbells. And he, unfortunately, we're going to make a mistake. Try and get something out on the outside. Jordan Morant steps in front of it. Pick six, 21-0 here. Fourth down, we got to go for it. Field goal's not going to cut it. Get our fullback involved. He picks it up pretty easily here. And then finally, Bowers decides to play football. We're going to hit junior tight end on the out. Going to score on that. And we're happy, you know, fourth quarter here, that we find Trombley. Not the fastest guy, so we're always hesitant to throw these outside routes. But 7-28, this is another chance. Here's our sophomore, Jacob Farrell, with a little more playing time. Again, we're capping that. But we figured we should get him some exposure here on the road in a big game and just see how he performs. And we did a decent job. Unfortunately, not able to score. 28-7 is going to be the final. A lot different on the road. You know, the home field advantage of Harvard is, I guess, different. I can't imagine what score would have been at Mizzou if we were to play on the road at their house. Being as they were highly ranked teams. So unfortunately we drop our second game of the season and our second SEC opponent. We've got one more SEC opponent to go, and that's going to be Georgia. So yeah, another tough one. You could see we had a middle linebacker convert. That was before the Liberty game. Liberty, these guys are decent little record. They get in the top 25 here and there. Both teams 7-2 at this point. Jet sweep wide open. Great angles by the defenders. We tried to juke them both, but unfortunately that third guy in pursuit's going to catch us. That's Keelan Rounds, man. Great little slot receiver. Great speed, and you can see we set him up with the fake there. Give it to our true freshman running back, Cameron Poe. That's his second carry, 20 yards on that. He's going to get us down to the 4-yard line. And then we're just going to hit that RPO. Douglas Saxon, he's great in all situations. Like I said last game, he can get open, deep. He can go up and climb the ladder, or he can act as like a little slot receiver here and just catch these short little RPO screen actions. Capitalize on that. We get him a touchdown right there. Big first down carry from our senior running back. Going to set us up third down here. We get this crossing route. Worthington's money on these. We really love this guy, young kid. Short little wide receiver. He's able to squirt in there. He's only a guy that gets in when some of the other receivers are gassed. So he's not our go-to slot receiver. But it seems like anytime he's in the game, man, he makes some things happen. 17-0 after this field goal. And we are rolling. I'm kind of surprised. I thought this was going to be a shootout. You can see this is early in the second quarter. And to have a 3-score lead here was more or less surprising. But we're going to try and capitalize on that even more by throwing the screen. True freshman. Just got to reiterate that point. Almost get that pressure there. There's many times we run that screen and we get hit right as we throw it, and we end up spiking the ball or hitting a defender right in the face. About 30 seconds left in the half here. 24-3. You know we're looking for Worthington. He's going to help us get a little bit closer to set up this little chip shot. 27 is what we're going to end the half with. Not a whole lot of change on our end until the late in the third quarter here. They're able to score, but here towards the end of the third quarter, just outran him. Plus he's tall, so anytime we have man coverage with Saxon, we're gonna take advantage of that. I really am excited that this dude's on our team because we don't have a tall receiver for next year. We're gonna have to hopefully recruit one. Big time field goal here. You can see he's got the Axiom helmet too. a little weird. We change it up just a little bit because we see close up what he looks like so much. 37-11, kind of a funky score, isn't it? But we end up with the win, 249 yards, 66%. We threw 4 touchdowns in this game. Got a couple over to Saxon. Besides our tight end, yeah, he's our biggest wide receiver. The next closest guy is 6'2", I believe. 6'1" or 6'2". So we're taking advantage of having, you can see right there, player of the week for the Independents, 7 catches, 97 yards. And just to go over where we're at recruiting wise, we had a 1-star guy. That 1-star guy we were first on his list. We didn't really invest a whole lot, but we did get 7 3-star recruits by this point. We did have a couple on campus for that Liberty game. But that's going to lead us into our third and final SEC game, and we're on the road against Georgia. If Mississippi State was tough, I mean, we knew what to expect here. This is one of the top teams in the country, ranked 10 at the moment. They're probably going to be in contention to play for a national title here. They've got a shot at least. You can see right away a lot of question marks, a lot of snowflakes on our players. We are super rattled here at home. They're just running the ball on us, 7-0. But here at the very first play of the second quarter here, our kicker boots one through, sneaks it in. 14-3, 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Third down. We're pretty methodical. We're not taking a whole lot of big risks. And all points are good points if you're playing SEC Georgia at home. Even though we biffed that kick, we end up making it 21-6 at halftime. 11.7 yards per play for Georgia to 4. So they're doing it both on the ground through the air, 120 through the air, 90 on the ground. This is just going to show you some of our highlights from our first half. We had quite a bit of time right there, able to find rounds. And then, of course, looking for any of these short little dump-off routes. Second half, into the third quarter, you can see 11 seconds right there, 28-6. But how about that? Rashad English climbs the ladder, makes an amazing catch in double coverage, which is going to set up our junior running back to punch this one in. And we love that. I don't like the Heisman celebrations, but Akeem Bell right here punches it in. 35-14. Throwing the deep ball. All the feels, all the nerves. We're not able to capitalize in it. Final score, 35-14. We didn't get waxed, so this could have been like a 50, 60, 70 point game, like many Georgia against lesser opponents go. But we hung in there, only lost by 21 points against a really great team. And that's going to mark our third loss. All 3 losses so far this season to SEC teams. But good thing is we showed up enough that we signed a handful of guys after that game. Some of our top recruits, that was sorted by national rank. So just to show you some of the top guys that we were searching for, we were able to land. This leads us to our last game of the season and the Black Unis here at the end. We couldn't get anything going early. You can see 7-0 with about 90 seconds left in the half. But we finally start to put things together. Hit the drag route rounds, our slot receiver extraordinaire, man. We'll just have a look at that. Smashed, absolutely smashed. We were getting pressure all game. We were losing yards on the run game. Even though we get hit there, we throw the wounded duck. We end up completing the pass, which sets up the fullback right up the middle. Troy Grayson doing the gritty. Let's go. Sophomore fullback. I like to get the big guys involved. 7-7 here. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. We're going to try a deep field goal. Punch it through. It's going to take our first lead of the game. And especially in the rivalry game, this is basically the Harvard-Yale game for us. Connecticut Massachusetts. Pretty much the same colors, right? Well, we didn't create Yale, but right here, big 200 completed passes this season. We did that here on the final regular season game, and even 2 minutes left. We can't go down and score a touchdown, but we can kick the field goal. That guy hit and miss, but he's hitting some pretty money shots. We're happy with him. Going deep here with about 90 seconds left in the game. We're looking at Saxon trying to outrun everybody, but now we're just pounding the rock. If we score, we score because it's going to be a 2-score game. If not, we're content running the clock out, but our true freshman Cameron Poe gets it right up the middle, scores that touchdown. Crazy thing is we haven't had a 100-yard rushing game very often out of our guys. We're able to hang on 21-7 against our rival UConn in the black unis. We like that. 256 yards for Joe Bowers. He's not able to get any touchdowns, and the completions were only around 50%, so not, I mean, he had a great yardage game, but we threw a ton of passes because they were smashing the run. But yeah, we just had to do what we had to do. It's crazy that the player of the game there with such mediocre stats. You can see we got a defensive tackle and right outside linebacker, 3-star recruits. We're going to have commit. At the end of the year here, we get a 5-year contract offer from Harvard to remain, but we are hoping we get a head coaching job. Quarterback from Alabama wins the Heisman. That's announced right before our Armed Forces Bowl invitation against Wyoming. And we're excited to check the coach carousel to see what kind of offers we have, where we might go next year. And we have 0 offers, guys. What the hell? I thought we did well enough. But you can see we've had quite a few more commits. We're able to allocate a lot more hours to some of our bigger guys. The Harvard signed. Pretty cool to see that. As head coach openings for the end of the year, we got Akron, Arizona State, Auburn, Kent, New Mexico State, NIU, Notre Dame, Ohio, Pitt, Purdue, WSU, which is our team builder team, Virginia, West Virginia, Sam Houston, Kennesaw State. But we don't have an offer to any of these schools. I think just because our XP is so slow, we aren't in the running. Not even for any of the offensive coordinator positions. So Iowa, Oklahoma, Washington, even Virginia are the big ones, excuse me, that we'd be interested in. But we don't have any of these offers quite yet, and we didn't take the 5-year extension from Harvard, so I'm not sure what's going to happen here, guys. But we are preparing for our bowl game, the Armed Forces Bowl against Wyoming. They are 6-6 against our 9-3 Harvard Crimson. Let's get it started. Yeah. So no offers to be an offensive coordinator, no offers to be a head coach. So we've got to focus on everything ahead of us. We know that we're going to come back. We've got a decent little contract secured with Harvard, 5 years moving forward. That's an automatic acceptance if you don't get an offer. So just to fill you guys in here, we're heading to Fort Worth, Ammon G. Carter Stadium, home of the Horned Frogs, to take on Wyoming. One more game for the season. Hopefully we get the hope here was to get our seniors involved and send them out on a big note. The big guy senior wise is going to be the running back right there. Direct snap on 3rd and inches. Javon Lakes. We got Saxon, and then the other one is our senior tight end. You can see we punt early here, 14-0. This isn't what we wanted, but it is what it is. We talked about this guy that could do everything, Douglas Saxon, climbing the ladder, making beautiful catches, and that's exactly what he does here. He sets us up in the red zone. It actually looks like he fell over the goal line for the touchdown, but no worries there. We're not going to challenge it because we know one of our 3 staple running backs is going to be able to punch it in. In this case, it's going to be true freshman Cameron Poe. Here on 3rd and 8, second quarter, a minute to go in the half. We can't hit this little out to Worthington, so we're going to have to settle for a field goal. Cut the deficit by 3, 14-10 here. it's going to remain this score until about 3 minutes left in the third. That's what we thought anyways, until we shank this kick. So this guy, there's a whole handful of kicks, man. It's like, look at him. We finally got this thing figured out. I don't feel like I do a whole lot of different things while kicking, but apparently the nerves of the bowl game got to him. We end up missing that. So we've got to go back to what works, and that's crossing routes to our receivers. We give him another shot from a little bit deeper than when he missed it, and this time he punches it right through. I don't know, guys. I felt like it was the exact same thing. That's exactly my reaction too, by the way. Shaking my damn head. What the hell is happening? We're losing by 1 point here with about 90 seconds left in the game. We're going to hit a screen. Javon Lakes, 4th and inches. This is the game on the line right here. But they all drop deep in their zone coverage. We're able to hit that crossing route, secure that first down, and then 3rd down, we throw into double coverage. We throw into double coverage, and we got a guy that's going to climb the ladder here. 37 seconds, 3rd down. We're going to try and run it up the middle. Unfortunately, we don't get the first down, so we've got to settle on a field goal. And as time expires, we win the Armed Forces Bowl against Wyoming. Hard-fought game, lots of punts, back and forth, tough runs, tough passes. We had drops. We had everything you can imagine. We had a ton of sacks, right? But we were able to hold on for the win here. So junior Joe Bowers was able to complete 70% of the passes, not able to throw any touchdowns, but you know, we didn't score a whole lot of touchdowns. We got that one up the middle there, and then a gang of field goals to win the Armed Forces Bowl. So glad that we're going to end it on a high note. We're going to go into our 2nd season with Harvard, doing big things. So 10-3 is going to be our ending record in our first year. And still, you can see all the openings here, including Harvard U. Our head coach leaves. We don't get that offer. Somebody else is coming in, but you see Oregon was the national champions. We have no persuasion chance to sign into these guys, but we've got 2 opportunities to persuade, so we're going to use them on the 2 best players. Unfortunately, we can't make anything happen, and we lose everybody who wants all 3 of those guys. We're going to lose them. You can see we're eyeballing Michigan and Arizona State recruit. We get a couple of commitments here. These guys are 2 stars. We get a kicker to come in. That's a 3-star. This guy's actually going to be an improvement over the guy we have. 18 3-star commits, 3 2-star commits, and a 1-star. If you guys are following college football, you know that the Mountain West is snatching up, or I'm sorry, Pac-12 is snatching up Mountain West teams. So Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno, San Diego State all join the Pac-12. 2 more are going to join next season. I believe that's going to be UNLV and either Air Force or Nevada. Just showing you guys what we're working on here. We add across the board, both offensive and defense, preparing for a head coaching position in our recruiter set. And just to reiterate our 5-year contract that has been signed. Here's our year 2 schedule. Temple, Boston College, Buffalo, FCS are going to be our first 4 games. It's going to be tough. Guys, that's going to conclude our 2nd episode here. Man, there's a lot to uncover. We're going to try a little different editing style moving into episode number 3. But I appreciate you guys being here. If you guys are loving this series, show some love, leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing, hang out for the long run, because we're preparing for season 2. When we start this season, we'll go over our new roster, who we lost, who we gained, all the fun things, who our new coach is going to be. I'll tell you right now, our head coach didn't sign. He left our program to be an offensive coordinator, and we signed an offensive coordinator from a different school to come in and be the head coach of Harvard moving forward. So our big goal for this season is to upgrade our coach, season 2, and hopefully get a head coaching job. We'll see. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you guys so much for being here. Peace.